Hello and welcome back to Silks and the City. So this is the third video in the Learn in the Time of Corona series that I'm doing. This video isn't necessarily about studying or learning, it's all about how to stay sane and connected during self-isolation. Just a quick caveat in proper lawyer style. To make this video a little bit more comprehensive and a little bit more creative, I asked a load of my friends this morning, a few hours ago, for their tips on how they're staying sane and connected during lockdown. So I asked on my personal Instagram account, and I've had a slew of responses, and they're still coming in. So any that I haven't managed to put into this video, I will list below. And also, again, in true Silks in the City style, this video and this article is categorised. So anytime I tend to make a topic, I try and break things down a little bit, so at a glance you can get to the information that you need to. So there'll be lots of different categories that I'm trying to cover to create a much more holistic video. This is really to just give people inspiration if you're struggling to know what to do, have an outlet for the different parts of yourself. We're obviously very complex beings, and there's no one size fits all for us all. I think it's also worth noting that during this time, it's something I've spoken briefly about in the previous two videos. During this time, it's there's going to be really tough days, tough weeks, tough months, and we're all going to be experiencing really difficult emotions. We'll be anxious and upset and scared and having to deal with a lot of uncertainty. And that's quite a lot in itself. And when other things happen, when life happens, when you get some bad news, or when someone close to you gets some bad news, it can really magnify all of those feelings. And I think it's worth saying at this point, at the beginning of the video, that that's normal, it's okay, you're not alone at all in feeling all of those feelings. I think it's really, really important that you allow yourself to feel that stuff rather than push it down and suppress. So this video isn't meant to be some panacea, it's not a prescription to heal yourself. It's just a way, just a few kind of strategies and tips and ways to experience positive things and to feed yourself, or if you're in distress, to soothe and heal a little bit, just a little bit. I also have actually myself delayed filming this video because I had a bit of a rough few days, or 4 or 5 days. I've not really felt particularly perky. So I think everyone is going to be feeling a bit rubbish at times, and that's okay. And to not be put off and to not feel isolated because your friends on social media are looking like they're coping really well and they're being super productive and getting all this stuff done and being really creative. A lot of the time that's just what you want to present to the world, that you are doing okay, that you are coping, when sometimes actually you're having a little bit of you're grappling with some stuff. I think we are all feeling like that, like we're grappling with things. So moving on to the meat of this video, I'm going to start with the brain. I'll start at the top, and I won't be working my way down, but I'll start at the top. So just a few things that you can do to get those little grey cells firing in a slightly different way to normal. I've been loving doing some online Scrabble with friends. I've got about 6 or 7 games on the go with friends, and then actually one with some completely random person who I don't know who challenged me, and I thought, why not? I found it's really a really great way to actually stay in touch with people. Obviously, you're not having a conversation, but when their name pops up on your phone, it's nice. It's another way to be connected. So that's online Scrabble. I also mentioned this previously. There have been a lot of free courses released during the pandemic from amazing institutions and organisations, ranging from archaeology to ancient Egypt to nutrition to creative writing to astronomy. I will link some of those below and leave you to browse and find what excites and sparks your passion. Another thing that a lot of my friends have been doing is brushing up on some of their language skills. So they're doing a lot of language learning. That might be another option for you to do. So moving from exercising the brain to exercising the body, you'll know that I'm a big advocate of the power of exercise. Those endorphins, really, really useful hormones, and also great for your mental health. And it's also something that you can see progress with very, very quickly. From one day to the next, you can see yourself progressing. It's also something that you can do just completely by yourself. You don't need anybody, you don't need any equipment. There's some incredible online classes, free online classes from brilliant instructors. I've also been using the DownDog Apps, so students and healthcare professionals actually get free access, free membership to all of the DownDog Apps. Again, I will link them below. I think we get free access until the 1st of July. If you're not in one of those categories and groups, then I think they are giving access to you until the 1st of May, I believe, although that may have extended since I last looked at it. I really like the apps. There's yoga in there. Again, if you've read the blog, you'll know I'm a big advocate of yoga and the power of that, especially for lawyers. They also have a HIIT workout, 7-minute workouts, bar class. So I rate that as well. You'll also know that I've been doing some Pilates. My dad has become my Pilates instructor. We video call, so he basically directs me, and we do like a class that he's created together a couple of times a week, and that's also a great way to stay in touch with them. YouTube is also a fantastic tool. There's loads of content on there. Yoga with Adriene, Joe Wicks, those are just two that come to mind. And the last one to mention, because I was nominated this morning, a few hours ago, to do the Run 5, Nominate 5, Donate 5 challenge, which seems like it's a really positive challenge. So you run 5k, nominate 5 of your friends, and then you donate £5 to the NHS. So I'll be doing that tomorrow, but it's a great kind of challenge to get on board with. It's really, really positive for a number of reasons. Moving on to feeding yourself, I've already talked about shopping locally, and I think the importance of that. You're supporting your local community. It's much more environmentally friendly. And another thing that's really environmentally friendly and sensible is being careful about using up all your scraps. So any offcuts of veg, like the ends of your broccoli or the ends of your carrots, can be boiled up, and you can make stock with that to make soups and things. Any store cupboard essentials like grains and things, whack those in. Great soup, very nourishing, very healthy. If you've roasted a chicken and you've got the bones left over, boil those up. I think it's just being sensible and thinking, right, I shouldn't really be throwing this away. Can I put these odds and ends into an omelette and use up leftovers that way? As another lovely way to stay connected with friends and family is delving into some of your favourite recipe books and swapping recipes. There have been so many brilliant, odd and delicious recipes flying around my friendship groups and my family. I got sent a satay chicken one the other day, yesterday, We've had a lot of baking videos and inspiration. Marmite marinated chicken, which was a success from a friend. So I think that's, again, a great way to be a bit creative, stay connected, and feed yourself good stuff. And that moves quite nicely onto the next category, which is socialising. So I actually looked up, I was intrigued to know when I'd last socialised with a group of friends. So we in London were on like proper lockdown by mid to late March. So I think by late March we weren't allowed to even social distance with anybody outside of our household. And I looked up when I'd last socialised in a group of my friends, and it was the 11th of March. I'm filming this on Monday the 13th of April, so that was over a month ago. I did do 2 socially distanced runs with a friend of mine who lives down the road after that, before we were told we could not do that any longer. So apart from that, yeah, I've not had very much contact with anybody other than the person I live with. I'm very, very lucky I do live with someone, so there's someone that I can hug and there's someone I can hang out with and chat to. But I think for a lot of us, there will have been weeks and weeks and maybe months that we won't be seeing people and physically seeing people. So there's lots and lots of ways that you can stay in touch with people and socialise, from sharing poetry. I've had poems by voice notes. Voice notes are fantastic. I'm a lover of them anyway. My friends will know just how much I enjoy them, sending them, sharing podcasts, sharing recipes, sharing exercises, anything that you would have done with your friends anyway. I've done quiz nights, cheese and wine nights. I'm part of a book club, and we're doing that virtually now. We're doing a virtual book club. There are loads of apps like House Party and Netflix Party, and obviously all your FaceTimes and WhatsApp video calls and Facebook Messenger and Zoom and Skype, and there are lots and lots of ways that you can stay in touch with people. One of my friends actually says that Zoom, and I'd kind of forgotten this, but it's a great option, is Zoom allows you to share your screen and also share the sound on your screen, so you can watch a film together, you can play games together. Zoom is a really, really good way to do quiz nights as well. Yeah, and then lots of people loving Netflix Party as well. So that's socialising quickly. The other category that I've got is your environment. So again, I've already talked about this, but having house projects, things that you've wanted to do. I finally got a load of photos printed of friends and family, and I've hung those. I've hung pictures. I've reorganised like furniture, created different spaces in the house. I think having a clear out is quite cathartic as well, and then also you can be giving stuff to charity. Obviously there will be a lot of people, many more people in need now than ever before, so that's a nice way to feel like you're giving back and doing something constructive and positive. Another thing that I noted down was planting seeds. So I've planted some wildflower seeds, and I'll be planting some salad and hopefully some tomatoes. And I think for me, going down in the morning to water them, it's very rewarding and gratifying to see new life sprouting. It sounds really soppy, but it really makes me happy, and it's a really positive thing to do, and it's very, very visible. So planting seeds, and then hopefully also you can pick what you grow, or just have a nice balcony. You don't have to even have outside space. You can have a pot inside your home. And then creativity. So creativity is so important. Loads of my friends have said that they're trying to make more time for having a creative outlet. So that's writing, listening to music. Music is so beneficial. There have been so many studies about the positive impacts of listening to music or playing music on your body. It lowers your blood pressure. It's a stress reliever. It's also great to be able to share music with people. You know, the things that you love, new discoveries, old favourites. So music, painting. A lot of my friends have taken up painting, colouring in books. I know one of my friends is loving colouring in books at the moment. And then also stuff for yourself. So that's the next category. I think this one is one of the most important ones, where I'm massively guilty of this, of feeling like I need to cram stuff in all the time and be busy and always around people. And as someone who is naturally introverted, I think you need a little bit of time for yourself and some quiet. And there's so much screen time at the moment that I think also having some, you know, shutting off your phone or closing your laptop and having an hour before bed where you're not looking at your devices, you're not getting that blue light, it's not disrupting your sleep, is so important. Maybe noting down 1 or 2 positives of the day, even if it's something like I got out of bed, or I brushed my hair, I made myself a cup of tea. And I think trying not to overfill your days. As I said, I have been guilty of this, and being busy every day and having something social every day, even during lockdown. I've tried to be a little bit more conscious of that and aware of that, and take a little bit of time out. I've mentioned this before. In fact, I've got a whole video on its structure and a little bit of a schedule. One of my friends herself said, yeah, waking up every day, really important. Obviously waking up every day is important. Waking up at the same time every day is really important. I've talked about that already. A lot of people saying limiting your consumption of news and also relying on reputable sources of information. Again, totally agree with that. In fact, I mentioned that in a blog post I wrote on the 15th of March, so quite early on in the UK's awareness of coronavirus, that it was really important to limit what you're feeding yourself in terms of the news, and also making sure that you're that what you are ingesting is good and is reliable. One of my friends, actually, he said that he's been allowing himself to cry, and he's been crying, and I've definitely been crying and emoting, and I think I've had phone calls with friends where they've got emotional, I've got emotional. I think allowing yourself to emote, allowing yourself to feel, and is so beneficial. It's really cathartic as well, and it helps things not build up and then you suddenly explode, or you're suddenly so exhausted from pushing all of that emotion down that you can't get out of bed. So I think feeling, crying, emoting, really, really great, really positive. One of my friends also, she's been rereading books that she loved as a child, and I thought that was so lovely, as a way to ground yourself as well as distract and have something fun to do. And then the final one, some of my friends are really lucky enough to have pets and animals running around the house or outside, so cuddling your dog, going and watching the lambs gambling around. I've been loving watching some of the goslings in one of my local parks growing up over the last couple of weeks. It's very nice, and again, quite heartening and very positive. So that's a whistle-stop tour of some of the different things that you can maybe do to stay sane and connected to not only others but also to yourself during self-isolation and lockdown. So I hope that video was helpful. If you have any tips and tricks and strategies that you're doing Anything I haven't mentioned, please do let me know. It's really great to see things from you as well. And until next time, yeah, stay safe, and I hope you're staying healthy and happy as you can during this time. And I'll see you soon. Bye bye.